Hello everybody, it's Steph Davis here from flipthiswholesaler.net. It has been a very long time, but I am finally back with another reader mail video for you guys. My question this time around was actually left on my blog a while back by Giovanni, and Giovanni's question says, I have a question about transactional funding. You can only get it when you have a buyer lined up. My question is, how do you get a buyer lined up with cash when you haven't made an offer on an REO yet? If you show the property, isn't there a risk of the C buyer making a direct offer? I have a few REOs in mind to look at, but before doing my homework, that is something I'm wondering about. All right, so Giovanni's question again about transactional funding. For those of you who are watching this who do not know what transactional funding is, it's basically used for situations such as if you are wholesaling a bank-owned property or a short sale where you cannot simply assign your contract to your end buyer and you actually have to close on the property and then immediately resell it to your end buyer. What a transactional lender will do, provided you have an end buyer in place that is ready to immediately purchase the property from you right after you buy it from the seller, the transactional lender will lend on the deal. There's no income verification or credit checks or anything like that. You just have to have that end buyer in place. So Giovanni's question is, how do you prevent, if you're making an offer on say a bank-owned property or short sale, and you're marketing it to your end buyer, how do you prevent that end buyer from going around you and making an offer to the, making an offer himself or herself? The answer to that question is, you want to make sure that you've already made the offer is accepted, and you have all of the contracts signed with the bank before you start marketing for an end buyer. What will happen once your offer is accepted and once all of the contracts are ratified, the agent, the listing agent, will mark the property or the property as pending in the MLS and will not take any more offers. So even if your buyer tried to go make an offer to the listing agent or through their agent, the agent is going to tell them, there's already a contract, an accepted contract on this property and it's pending. So now I will tell you that when I was just getting started and I was still kind of unsure of my market, what I would do is, while I was negotiating with the bank, if I thought I was getting close, I would go to my buyers and tell them about the deal and see if they would be interested. I would kind of give them a ballpark, a range of where I was probably going to be able to offer them the deal at. Now, this was risky because they could have, if you don't have those contracts signed with the bank, you run the risk if you're telling your buyers about it, you run the risk of your buyer going around you and making an offer themselves. That never happened to me. It easily could have, though, but that was a risk I was willing to take. Like I said, I was still unsure of my market. I wasn't exactly sure of where my numbers needed to be, so I was willing to take that risk because I did not want to start putting properties under contract and then backing out of them and giving myself a bad reputation with the agent. So my advice to you before you go out and start making offers is to really do some due diligence, find out who some of the cash buyers are, who some of the players are in your market, find out what type of deals they're buying, how much they're paying for them. Spend some time doing that before you go out making offers or marketing for motivated sellers. A lot of beginning wholesalers, that's a big mistake that or a common mistake, I should say, that a lot of beginning wholesalers make, is that they don't bother to do their due diligence. They don't bother to take the time to study their market, to find out what the buyers are looking for, and they go out, start making offers, start putting properties under contract, and then they end up having to back out of them because they're really not deals. So it's worth your time and effort to study your market a little bit, find out who some of the buyers are, find out what they're looking for, and then when you go to make offers or when you're marketing for motivated sellers, you'll have a lot more confidence when you get to that point. So Giovanni, I hope that answered your question. If anyone watching this would like to add anything to what I've said, or if you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments. If you are watching this on YouTube and you have a question, you can ask it on my blog. It's flipthiswholesaler.net. Underneath the video in the comment section, feel free to leave a question if you have one. All right, that's all for today. I will see you guys next time. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.